Well, hello there, YouTube. With hazy but yet beautiful Mount Rainier in the background there, and St. Helens over there. They're hazy enough that I don't think the camera's going to pick them up, but you never know. I never know until I watch it. Look at all them wildflowers out in that field. Is that insanely beautiful or what? Anyway, I'm going no place in particular. I'm just going to take a little cruise on the Road King, because I haven't ridden her in a few weeks. I'm not sure how long. Oh, look at that! They're getting the official Toledo skydiving sign put up there. Right out of the bat, I'm gonna have to follow somebody. Hopefully it's somebody going to their house, and I'm not gonna have to follow them all the way out Tower Road here. But you never know. Tower Road's kind of cool because you end up staring at the mountains quite a bit. I can always hope that these things are showing up, but St. Helens is very hazy sitting out that way. Man, I have no idea what's making my nose itch like that, but it's about to drive me batshit crazy. There was a bunch of cottonwood floating in the air when I was going through Toledo. Maybe that's rattling around in my helmet going, deal with this, sucker. So today, a show came on. It was on CMT, the Country Music Television channel, and it was a documentary, and it looks like it was made this year, but it's kind of weird. On DirecTV, you ever get them damn shows and you look and you hit info and it doesn't show you the year it was made or anything, but if you go to CMT's website, it looks like it was posted on their website like days ago. So I'm assuming it's brand new, and going by the characters and their age, oh, that's beautiful, and their age and whatnot, I'm assuming it's very current. But it was called Urban Cowboy, The Rise and Fall of Gilley's. And it was essentially about the Gilley's Club, who, I don't know if you guys know this or not, but Gilley's, Mickey Gilley, the country singer, who actually tried to start out not in country, and everybody thinks he's a Texas boy. Well, he's actually a Louisiana boy, and his cousins were Jerry Lee Lewis and what's his name, Jimmy Stewart, that preacher, reverend, whatever he was. But anyway, that was his cousins. And when he was a young lad trying to sort things out, they were all within a year of being the same age. He was trying to sort things out, and Jerry Lee Lewis, you know, he had the aspirations to be a singer, and he came out with that hit song. And old Mickey Gilley sitting back going, damn, I forget what career path he was taking, but he decided I'm going about things all the wrong way, you know, because I guess when they were kids they used to sing together or whatever. They were really, really poor, you know, had a hard time as kids. And his cousin Jerry Lee Lewis all of a sudden becomes, you know, a millionaire overnight. And so Mickey Gilley decides, I'm going to be a singer. So initially he starts out by singing like Great Balls of Fire, doing basically covers or whatever you want to call it of his cousin's songs. and actually made some records and sold them, you know. And people were just going, look, you know, your cousin's got it, you don't. It was kind of one of those coming to realization moments there, that he's just, you know, you're not your cousin. Your cousin's crazy popular, you're a nobody. So he started singing country, and got some gigs. He ended up in Houston, Texas, and was singing gigs and stuff around there. And oh, the hell was his name? Sherwood was his first name. Oh my lord, I can't think of his name. It'll come to me here in a second. But anyway, this gentleman, first name Sherwood, owned some nightclubs and bars and whatnot in Pasadena, Texas. And somehow or another he caught one of Mickey Gilley's acts, and he was just this old, down-to-earth old country boy, you know, one of these, you know, there's a very clear line, you know, drawn in the sand between right and wrong, you know. And he was one of these guys, you know, an eye for an eye. You do me wrong, I'll do you wrong 3 times back, kind of a thing, you know. It's old school. But anyway, he didn't. He started this big old bar, and it was called Shirley's, I believe, at first. And I forget where he got the name Shirley's, but anyway, in 1970 he met Mickey Gilley, and made him a fantastic offer. And anyway, one thing led to another, and they actually wrote the contract on a matchbook, one of the folding matchbooks, you know, the paper ones you open up and the matches are inside. The contract was written on one of those, that they share everything 50-50. And Mickey Gilley's only request was that it be named Gilley's, which, if you read some of the other stories about this thing, there's some things where Sherwood was adamant about naming it Gilley. So I'm just going by what this documentary said. So I've looked into this before. So anyway, 1971, the club changes its name to Gilley's, and it just becomes this crazy, insanely popular nightclub. This thing's like a 70-acre nightclub. And they had you know, this big restaurant, obviously a bar, a massive dance hall, big stage, and Mickey Gilley was basically the main act. I think I just seen a deer walk across the road up here. Pretty sure I did. But anyway, so Mickey Gilley was the main act. They got people, geez, they had George Jones, Loretta Lynn, all kinds of famous people that would come and play at Gilley's. Well, in 1977, this writer for Esquire magazine just happens to come by the bar and liked what he's seen. And I think I was supposed to turn before I get to this bridge. Oh, this is the bridge that got wiped out, I think. Oh no, that was on Highway 12. Hell, I don't remember. Maybe this is the one. Over the winter, a storm knocked this thing out. Yeah, I'm on the right track. Oh, good lord. I guess I didn't think I was supposed to wait there. But I'm skinny. We could have both gone across there. So this writer comes in and is fascinated with the bar and gets to know Sherwood, and Sherwood goes to him and says, "Hey, you need to write an article about this in your Esquire magazine." Because this writer just had this magical way of writing these articles that just attracted people like crazy. And Sherwood has the idea to say, hey, you know, as famous as your articles are in Esquire magazine, you know, you write this thing good enough, he goes, we can push and try to make a movie deal out of this guy, out of this thing. Sherwood, he was always the businessman, you know, but he was the guy that dressed like a bum and was always in the background. You know, he was one of these guys that didn't want anybody to know that he had any money. And you know, the bar was almost 100% a cash bar, so you know, massive amounts of money he would have to deposit and whatnot. And he goes, you could always tell when he was going to make a deposit because he'd have a limp. And he'd be wearing this crazy coat. And the reason he had a limp is because he had a goddamn shotgun shoved down one of his legs. You know, he was one of them old boys, you know, good old boys. And anyway, I don't want to end up at Morton here. I hope I haven't gone way too long to make my turn. But anyway, the guy writes the article, and it's based on a real couple. And I don't know if the real guy's nickname was Bud, but the real guy's girlfriend, in which he married at Gilley's, name was Sissy. And it was based on real people. Well, the thing was a crazy hit, the article was. And so they approached whatever studio about making a movie of it. And one thing led to another, and in 1979 they started filming, and it was predominantly filmed at Gilley's club. It says Gilley's Club on St. Helens in the background. I think I've gone too far. It says Gilley's Club on the sign, but it's some people refer to it as Gilley's nightclub, but that's not what it said on the sign. Yeah, I've gone way too far. I had a plan of where I was going to turn off up here, but that's not it right here, is it? Maybe I haven't gone too far. I know there's a... Well, you'll know when I pop out. I don't want to reveal it all now. So the movie was filmed, and on June 6th of 1980, the movie was released. It was they had the big opening release was at a theater there in Houston. And all the stars of the stars all showed up. This thing is a big event and big hoorah. The movie was a big hit. And made famous people out of, I mean, a lot of the actors and actresses in the movie were real, what they called Gilley rats. They were, actual patrons. They weren't actors and actresses. They just got hired, and a lot of them played basically themselves in the movie. But so the movie comes out, and Gilley's Bar Club becomes just this insane tourist attraction. I mean, crazy tourist attraction. Everybody, and then the patrons and the people that frequented the thing were. I didn't go too far. Here's my sign. Here's your sign. The people that frequented the place said it changed it. They didn't like it because it wasn't we're entering Sinbar, Washington. They didn't like it because it became a huge tourist attraction. It wasn't the normal, basically, Urban Cowboy, which was this kind of not a real cowboy, but in the late 70s there was just this huge economic boom. in Houston with the oil and refineries and stuff like that. And so there's all these guys from all over Hell's Half Acres that come to work in these oil fields because there was all this money there, and they'd all show up at this bar. They wear cowboy hats with feathers and all this stuff, and it just became nicknamed this Urban Cowboy. They weren't true cowboys. And I guess they say nowadays they're considered a cowboy or whatever. I don't know about all that stuff, but anyway, that article was it's called something about the Urban Cowboy, something about the Urban Cowboy and the something of true grit or something. The article was so based on the little article he wrote, it ended up being called Urban Cowboy because it was basically about this city boy that was a cowboy, and that crazy mechanical bull, was like the star of the show, it seemed like, or of the nightclub. But anyway, the movie gets made, and John Travolta, who just got through doing I think he just finished Grease Lightning or something like that, and Saturday Night Fever prior to that, and Vinnie Barbarino on Welcome Back Carter before that, and, so he was considered like the disco star or whatever, and all the people involved with the movie says this guy from New Jersey, he's a disco guy, and honky tonks are 180 degrees off from any kind of disco. There's no disco here, he'll never be able to pull it off. And anyway, after it gets made, he does well. Deborah Winger, oh my God, was she hot in that. I don't know if any of you guys haven't seen Urban Cowboy, you should see it. Man, that Deborah Winger was some kind of smoking hot. But and for the gals, old John Travolta, he was quite the heartthrob at the time himself. So whatever that was, had a sign. There's a fence in the back. I wonder what. This looks like a farm. But oh, they had a rodeo at Gilley's club too. That was kind of off to the back, and they had motocross races in there, all kinds of cool stuff. BMX bikes, and of course rodeos. I think they did that every Friday night or whatever. But the the bar was crazy famous, and around 1985 it started. In 1984 it was rated the #1 country bar in the world or in the country or something like that. And so it it won awards and stuff like that. But 1985 it started sliding off. And old Sherwood, he would not upkeep the bar, and him and Gilley would come to verbal discussions. Customers complaining the bathrooms were nasty and things were run down. Oh, and it said gravel. Look, they did it here too. So what the hell kind of road repair do you do that you rip the whole damn road up? The hell is that? Didn't know it was going to be off-roading the Road King today. But anyway, deteriorating relations between Sherwood and Mickey Gilley. Oh, that's mud. Oh, it was wet and muddy. Somebody came out here and wet this thing probably to keep the damn dust down. Oh, that's really going to do wonders for the old Road King. Hell, it almost looks like it rained through here. I think a truck come through and wet it down. And I got a Volkswagen Beetle coming up behind me. So, in 1988, Mickey Gilley had enough, and he says, this thing's a bad mark on my name, because this place has become a shithole. And because Sherwood would never put any money back into it, you know, to clean things up, they got to investigating, and there was suspicion that money was going places it wasn't supposed to go. Sherwood was managing, well, I don't know if they say he was ripping things off, but I think that was the consensus anyway. But anyway, Mickey Gilley filed a lawsuit in 1988 and won the lawsuit, and old Sherwood had to pay him back $17 million. Imagine what $17 million, look what $17 million is today. Imagine what it was in 1988. So he wins. He gives up the club, and he had a bunch of other clubs around, and he had to sell them all off to help try to pay the debt he owed, you know. So basically bankrupt him. He was not a young man at this time at all. And come on, followed by a Volkswagen and having to wait for a Volkswagen. Oh, that's a little Toyota. So anyway, it ruined the guy, and he's Mickey Gilley they kept the bar going, and it basically lasted a little less than a year. And the judge that was kind of monitoring the whole thing ordered the bar closed, or the club closed. So on March 31st of 1989, the judge ordered the place locked up. So sometime in 1990, I'm not sure of the date, the bar went through a series of fires. And I think one of the fire marshals said like 9 fires. Something crazy like this. And they're very suspicious of what's going on. Well, the final fire took her down. She went up in a massive flame that they couldn't recover, and it burned it to a point she was not repairable. And that was the end of the Gilley's Club in Pasadena, Texas. In 1981, I remember we moved up here in October of '78. You know, I say we, I was, you know, just before I was a young lad. So anyway, I was a kid, had to go with my parents. And I remember in '79 they were talking about making a movie about Gilley's bar, and they're going to call it Urban Cowboy, you know. And the Urban Cowboy didn't strike anything, but I remember when I was living in Texarkana, Texas, seems like it was one of the weekend days, there was a show. It was like an hour-long show. It was a syndicated radio show. I think it was like an hour-long show. And what Mickey Gilley would do is when the live acts were there recording, he would record them, and he saved the tapes. Well, they started playing these things back on a radio show, and it was called Live at Gilley's. So anyway, she went up in flames, and nobody was. It was arson. It was deemed arson. They found the 16-year-old kid that everybody knows that Sherwood hired to set the thing down, set the thing on fire. And as the rumors go, Sherwood, he paid everybody off. The police, the fire department, all the officials, so the thing just kind of got squashed. Nobody got prosecuted, or nobody was, other than I think there was 4 kids altogether, but it turned out to be just one of them was the ultimate starter of the fire. Excuse me. And nothing happened to him either. I was the end of Gilley's. And 92, a school district there, Pasadena school district, took possession of the property, but because there were so many tax liens and stuff like that on the property, they couldn't do anything with it. So they were looking for somebody to buy it, but the amount of money owed on it was in excess of what it was worth. And I'm not sure of the details, but the school district ended up keeping possession of it. I don't know if they worked the tax things out or what, but in 2005, whatever remaining standing buildings, the charred remains, was mowed completely down. And this year, a grade school, brand new grade school, is now sitting in the location of Gilley's. But in 1981, the drinking age in Texas, and I'm assuming it still is 19. Well, in 1981, I was not 19 years old. But I flew to Houston. Ooh, they're doing some construction down there. Just step off here for a second. I flew to Houston to watch Kenny Roberts and Eddie Lawson, Mickey Fay, and Frank Ward III, and a whole bunch of famous racers run an indoor flat track. Yeah, they're doing some kind of construction on one of those. That's a long ass ways down right there. I'm gonna get the camera in a spot that you're not staring right through a piece of fence. But I flew to Houston to watch the races. And I met my friend from Texarkana. He drove down from Texarkana, which is quite a drive from Texarkana to Houston. And we got ourselves a little motel and hung out in Houston for a couple 3 days. And one of the things we did is we drove out to Pasadena and went to Gilley's bar. And I remember going right in that thing. I was never asked for ID or anything. I didn't ask for a beer or anything. I wasn't that brave. But I've got pictures and stuff of the crazy going on, the bowl and all that stuff. And I'm here to tell you, in 1981, it was still a huge tourist attraction. Man, that place was crazy. It was absolutely nuts. But, you know, my young age, that was very, very exciting. It was very fun. But the shocking thing was, you know, the movie, you know, as movies are, they have a way of making things. I don't know if you can see right in front of me, this little island. And it is an island, an unattached island. A little clump of trees coming up there, and you can kind of see, I can see a camper from here, and I see a couple of boats in a little dock area there. That's where I ride around that mountain ridge there and come into that park. And you can walk across those docks and walk up that little mountain. It's about, I don't know, a few hundred feet high. It's pretty cool. I walked you up there one day. I came out here, I think it was, I've gone out there several times, but I came out here one time on the 72 when it was like 28 degrees and roads were frozen or something like that. I remember slipping in the ice going through the little back road there. It was crazy slippery. Actually, I stopped here too on the way. I think this is where I ended one of the videos. And I've probably been talking so long now that it's going to be a 20-part video. No entry beyond this point. No kidding. Why would you want to go any further than that? But, that's my little... Are you kidding me? 41 minutes? 42 minutes. As of right now. 42 minutes. But, anyway, that was just on my mind when I took off, and I thought I would, tell you guys the story of Gilley's Bar in Pasadena, Texas. Ended it with, I went there. It was very fun. There was somebody singing there. It wasn't Mickey Gilley. And whatever day we were there, Mickey Gilley was there the day before. And at that point, it was rare for him, because after Urban Cowboy came out, him and who's the guy that sung Looking for Love in All the Right Places? Wow, how do I forget these names? That's crazy. But Sherwood Cryer was the original owner of the place and went halves, and him and Mickey were 50-50 co-owners of Gilley's. Sherwood Cryer. Told you I'd remember his name sooner or later. Now I can't remember the guy that sung the song Looking for Love in All the Right Places, or in all the wrong places, whatever. But that was a song that was written by a couple of school teachers, and they'd never had a song published or anything, and I guess they had boxes of cassettes they were going through, and I guess it was like the 10th one or something, cassette they came through listening to different songs, and he goes, "That's the one," and made him a huge hit. But him and Mickey Gilley, because of all the popularity, went on a couple year tour or something around, I don't know if it was around the world, around the States, but it was really rare for him. By 1981, it was really rare for him to be, he must have been doing a show there in Houston or something, and did a guest appearance at Gilley's. But I remember the song, I got pictures of it. It's big to do about Mickey Gilley being there. And I remember thinking at the time, why is this a big to do of Mickey Gilley being at his own bar, singing in his own bar? Isn't this what he does? But I didn't know all the details or anything back then. But fascinating stuff. So anyway, don't know how I'll hack this one up, because going on 50 minutes. But hey, if I was on my Hero 4, I'd have never made it this far. My battery would have been long gone. But anyway, I will chit chat with you guys later. I'm gonna buzz home and hang out with the mama, and maybe do some, do some lawn work. There's some big holes coming out of here. But anyway, I appreciate you guys riding along with me. I don't know if any of that was exciting to look at, but I can tell you the rest of this ride home, I'm going to be going absolutely west, the route I'm going to take. The entire way I'll go west. Anyway, I appreciate you guys watching. And if you enjoyed this, please, by all means, give her a thumbs up. And if you don't like it, well, you know what to do. And we'll talk to you guys later. Thank you very much. Have a wonderful day now. Take care.